All right, beautiful people. So we are going to work through these test questions so that you will know what you did wrong for your corrections. For your corrections, you will need to watch this video in its entirety. You will only correct the problems that you got wrong, but you must show all your work on your redone questions. And you must explain your mistake in 2 to 3 really good sentences that can describe a math mistake you made, like maybe adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing incorrectly. It could be a process mistake, like incorrectly using a formula or not following the rules for multiplying by the reciprocal, or only completing one of the steps in a multi-step problem. Or it could be a silly mistake, like writing down the numbers incorrectly, or writing illegibly and you can't read your own writing, or not following the directions correctly, or incorrectly lining up your digits or decimals or place value. All of those things could contribute to your mistakes, and you're going to identify what you did wrong and write how you could have done the problem wrong, or explain your mistake in 2 to 3 sentences. So let's jump right in. Number one, it said last year 351 children signed up to play football in Johnson County. Each single team had 27 players in its roster. How many football teams were there in Johnson County? You're going to divide 351 children by 27 players per team. So you start by dividing through the place values. 27 will not go into 3, but it goes into 35 one time. 1 times 27 is 27. Then we subtract. We're going to regroup. 3 becomes a 2, and that becomes 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 8's smaller than 27, so we're good. Bring down the 1. 27 goes into 81 3 times. So that would be 27 times 3 is 81. That means there are 13 teams, or 13 teams with 27 players on it. That's what that means. All right, next question. It says, Bobby bought 1.12 pounds of turkey at a cost of $2.50 per pound. Carla bought 1.4 pounds of turkey at a cost of $2.20 per pound. Who spent more on turkey and by how much? So you're going to take the rate, the dollar amount that they paid, $2.50. I'm just doing 2.5 because we don't need to multiply the 0, and 2.2 for the $2.20 times the amount. So 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. Put our placeholder 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So we add 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 4 is 10. Put the 0 down, carry the 1. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And then 2 plus 0 is 2. And we have 1, 2, 3 decimal spaces. So you start here and move your decimal 1, 2, 3. So that one is $2.80 for the first person, Bobby. I'm just going to put a B there. Now we're going to multiply 1.4 times 2.2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. Placeholder 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. Bring down the 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So that's Carla. Carla had $3.08. We got to find the difference, so I'm going to put the 308 on top. And we're subtracting. 8 minus 0 is 8. Cross out the 3, make it a 2. That becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Bring down the decimal. 2 minus 2 is 0. So it's 28 cents more. Bobby spent 28 cents more. No, wait, Bobby didn't spend 20. Carla spent 28 cents more because Carla was the 308. So B, Carla spent 28 cents more than Bobby. Next question. Now, this is the most missed question on all of the classes for the assessment. And it was the most missed because of that word all right there. Even when I worked it out and I had the answer. I said you need 253 boxes for 24 cupcakes each, plus you've got 6 cupcakes left over that you can give to your friends. In this instance, you're going to box all of them, which means you would have 254 boxes, and I'll show you how we get that. So we have 6,078 cupcakes, and we are dividing that by 24 cupcakes per box. So if we look at this, 24 goes into 60 2 times. 2 times 24 is 48. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we subtract to make that a 5. 10 minus 8 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. 60 minus 48 is 12. Then bring down the 7. Now I know that 24 is going to go into 127 5 times, because 5 times 25 is 125. I have one less than 25, so that will have to work. 5 times 4 is 20. Put the 0 down, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. So that gives us 120. 7 minus 0 is 7. Okay. Now we're going to bring down the 8. 24 goes into 78 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 is 7. 8 minus 2 is 6. So that's going to be the leftover amount, which means I'm going to have 253 full boxes and 1 partial of 6. So that means I'm going to have 254 boxes for my cupcakes. Okay? Hope that makes sense. All right, let's look at the next one. It says Enrique is going to a party this weekend. He's bringing 20 liters of soda to the party. A liter of soda costs $1.59. So how much will Enrique spend on soda? He's bringing 20 liters that cost $1.59 for each single liter. So you would multiply the number of bottles that he's bringing times the rate, which is $1.59. Now, I set this up to multiply the 0 out, because any number times 0 is 0, but I still have to account for that place value. So I'm just going to bring that 0 down. Then I'm going to multiply my 2. 2 times 9 is 18. Put the 8 down, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. Put the 1 down, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And I have 2 decimal spaces. So Enrique is going to spend $31.80 on sodas. Okay, next question. It says, what is the quotient of 37.18 divided by 2.6? So we're going to set it up for the standard algorithm. You would write it like this, but you cannot have a decimal divisor. Remember, if you have a decimal in the divisor, you have to move your decimal so that you're dividing by a whole number, which means that 37.1 becomes 371.8, and we'll have a decimal in our quotient. We had to move it in both places the same number of times. So if I look at this, I know that 26 goes into 37 one whole time. 1 times 26 is 26. 7 minus 6 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 11 is smaller than that, so we're good there. Now I'm going to bring down another 1. 26 will go into 111 4 times. I know that 4 times 25 is 100, so that's 1 more, so we're going to go with 4. 6 times 4 is 24, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, so I have 104. 11 minus 4 is 7. Then I bring down the 8. And 26 goes into 78 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So the answer is 14.3. Next question. Terrence and 3 of his friends are sharing 3/4 of a pizza equally. What fraction of a whole pizza does each person receive? Now we're starting with less than a whole pizza, but we're still splitting it by 4 people. So you just multiply by the reciprocal. So 3/4 of the pizza, 3/4 of the whole pizza, divided by 4 means we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So that instead of 4 over 1, that's going to be 1 over 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 4 is 16. So that means each person will get 3/16 of the pizza. Okay. Next question. This is number 7. So the number of students at each grade at a middle school are shown. The average class size is 23 students. How many total classes are there at the middle school? So I'm going to get the total of all the students, and I'm going to divide it by the class size of 23. If I add these up, 5 plus 0 is 5, 7 plus 9 is 16, carry the 1, 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 1 is 12, so 1,265 is the total that we're going to divide by the number of people in class. So that's the class size. So when I divide this, 23 is close to 25, and I know that 25 times 5 is 125, so I'm going to say that 23 goes into 126. I got to go through that 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Then I subtract 6 minus 5 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Now, bring down the 5. Now, look at this number. This number is exactly the same as what I got when I multiplied 5 times 23. So I know that 23 will go into 115 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And then we are going to subtract, and that is equal 55 classes of 23 students. Next question. Danielle has 2 1/3 hours to work on her homework. It takes her 1/6 of an hour to finish one problem. How many problems can Danielle finish during this time? Okay, so she has 2 1/3 hours, and she needs 1/6 of an hour for each problem. So I'm going to divide the amount of time that she has by the amount of time that it takes to do one problem. But I've got to convert that mixed number to an improper fraction and then multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to take the 2 1/3 and convert it. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over our original denominator of 3. And then we're going to change our division to multiplication, and we're going to write the reciprocal of 1/6, which is 6 over 1. And if we multiply that out, 7 times 6 is 40. Oh, wait. I can simplify that 3 out. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14. So that would be 14 over 1. So that means that she can do 14 problems. That was easy enough. All right, let's look at this last one on this page. It says, Ethan has a full jug of water that holds 3/4 of a gallon. He wants to pour the water into cups that hold 1/6 of a gallon each. How many cups can Ethan fill? So he has 3/4 of a gallon to split into 1/6 of gallon cups. So we're going to divide the 3/4 by 1/6. That becomes 3 over 4 times 6 over 1. And, well, I can easily simplify 2 out of that. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So I've got 3 times 3 is 9 over 2 times 1 is 2. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. So 9 minus 8 is 1 left over out of the original half that we have. So the answer would be 4.5 cups could be filled from 3/4 of a gallon. Okay? Moving right along. Okay. It says Gary has a strip of paper that is 17 1/2 inches long. He will place a sticker on every 1 1/4 inches. So we're going to divide the amount of paper by the 1 1/4 inches And then, of course, the mixed numbers have got to be converted to improper fractions to solve. That's going to be a pretty easy thing to do. 17 times 2 is 34, plus 1 is going to be 35 over 2, divided by 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5, over 4. Now we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. 35 over 2, change our division to multiplication, and then make the reciprocal of 5 4, so that would be 4 over 5. And I can divide out this 5, and I can divide out that 2. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 35 7 times. 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 4 2 times. So I'm going to multiply across the numerator and the denominator. 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 1 is 1. So it's 14 over 1, or 14 stickers out of the 17 and a half inches of paper. All right, that's pretty easy. All right. It says Jack was given the problem written in the box. He claimed that the answer was 1/10. Well, before we can do anything, we have to work this problem out to see if he was right or wrong. So we have 1 over 5 divided by 1 over 2. We set that up to multiply by the reciprocal, so 1 over 5 times 2 over 1, that's keep, change, flip. We're going to multiply 1 times 2 is 2, 5 times 1 is 5. So the answer is actually 2/5, and that is not correct, because if I converted 2/5 to tenths, 5 goes into 10 2 times, 2 times 2 is 4, that would be 4/10, and those two are not the same. So he is wrong. So he is not correct, so it can't be A or B, because those two say that he's correct, and he's not correct. But let's see, Jack is incorrect because he needs to divide by the reciprocal of 1/2. Well, that's not right, because you never, 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 I just broke my pencil lead, divide by 1/2. Can't believe I just divided that on this second to the last problem. You will never divide by the reciprocal. You always multiply. Jack is incorrect because he needs to multiply by the reciprocal of 1/2. All right, and the last problem, question 12. It says Rita needs to solve 3/4 divided by 2/3. She plans to multiply 3/4 by 3/2. Will Rita's strategy work? Now remember, when you set up a problem for dividing fractions, you always multiply the dividend by the divisor's reciprocal. So if I look at this problem, if I set it up, 3/4 divided by 2/3 is the same as 3 over 4 times, you flip the 2/3 to 3/2, and that is correct. She did it correctly. She multiplied by the reciprocal, so yes, because 2/3 and 3/2 are equivalent. No, those are not equivalent. Can't be no, can't be no. Yes, because dividing a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the fraction. Yep, that's it right there. So you guys you've watched this video, you've seen how the problems are worked out. You're gonna rework the problems that you missed, and then you're gonna write a few sentences about what you did, so that you can get full credit back, or get as much points back. You can get 2 points back. Oh my goodness, they're tearing the building down from on top of me. It feels like the sky's falling. You can get half of your points back for every question that you missed, and when you get the parent's signature, you will get Mama Duck Bucks in addition to that. I hope everybody did well and you feel pretty good about it. That was a good video.